Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Advancement Center, to the world of magic and miracles, to another beautiful day here on planet Earth. Sometimes, as I sit here in front of this camera ready to go live, it just seems like an eternity to sit here and wait for everything to start. And today was one of those days. I'm not sure why. It's probably because there's just so much flying around. I hope I can slow it down enough to bring it down into a place where I can actually speak something in words. It's a very unusual time right now on planet Earth. There's there's so much going on in both on the physical plane and the outer reaches of the universe with everyone. It feels like every being everywhere is involved because there's so much happening. And it's all happening for the I don't even know what words to use. I was gonna say for the good of humanity, although that doesn't sound like enough because it really is gonna be spectacular where we're going. Part of my nature is I've always loved to know about things. I've always loved to, like, what can I say? I like to see the big picture, which is great because it really helps this human physical existence. It's probably the hardest thing for me to do here in human form, but that ability to just step back, way back, and look from a distance at anything and everything that's happening on the physical plane because it's just one realm of activity, of existence, even though to most humans, probably at this point, to many humans, this feels like it. I grew up with a father who felt like this was it. Like when he died, that was the end. Nothing. Um, I I never had anything forced on me. It was just that was what he felt, and I came to another place for myself over the years. So I brought that up because there are still a lot of people on planet Earth that don't know there's so much more. And this incredible gift and tool we have in any and every moment to just connect with our creator. It's a very fast way to get to that place of seeing the big picture. But this physical existence is so interesting because it's very, when you're here, when you're living here in a physical form as a human on planet Earth, it's very tantalizing, everything that's going on here. It sucks you in, it sucks me in. So I've been, I don't know that I haven't been totally sucked in. I'm just, let me just say I'm staying on the fringes, but I just like information, and it's not necessarily information I even need to store anywhere, like in my brain or whatever that part of me thinks it's doing. But it's again, just to see the big picture, even when it's just the big picture of planet Earth and what's happening here. as some of you, most of you watching now, you may not know those watching in the future that for the last, I don't know how long, off and on for the last year or so, Simeon has stopped speaking live, but every week we bring a past broadcast in on Wednesdays. And they're all amazing. But there's something happening now, I've noticed just in the last maybe even few weeks, maybe the last month, I don't know, but the Simeons are something I create these weekly invitations. I choose which Simeon, but it's not something I do with my brain or with I don't start viewing and then make a decision. I just the closest way I can describe it, it's like using a Ouija board and I just sort of land on one, and it's just all I'm looking at is dates. I'm not even looking at they're just like, "Okay, these are the events. Pick one from hundreds." At the moment, there's more, but the more current ones, there's hundreds. And it just never ceases to amaze me which one shows up because then I listen and I choose the invitation from the words from that chosen Simeon for the week. And like I said about this last month or so, it's mind-blowing the timing of these recorded broadcasts showing up now. It's just I think every week it just blows me away even more. So this week is another one. It's tomorrow at noon is when we all watch it together. You can watch it anytime you want if you press the button on the invitation for the Simeon recording. But I this particular one that is on schedule for tomorrow is probably over 2 years in the past, and yet it's more relevant. It made more sense to me this time, and yet it's still so profound. I find myself listening to it over and over. I print out the words since we edit the script, the transcripts, and it's fulfilling that desire I have to understand, to see, and yet it's doing it in a way that most people might not get because it's so much more than words. There are words that are the carriers that are carrying this transmission. And the other thing that's so incredible about it is it doesn't matter who you are. We're all so unique. We all have our own paths, our own destinies, what we're all doing here in the outer reaches. That every transmission from any person here, whether it's Simeon or Barbara or David or Adrian or myself, we connect to you who's watching or listening, whether it's now or in the future, in a way that's just for you. It's your unique channel. So when I even speak about these things and I talk about my experience and what it's doing for me, it may not do that for you. But the point of this is, it is for you. So whatever it is that you receive from any of us, know how perfect and brilliant it is. And when you fully receive your message or your messages, you know you're you get excited, you start laughing, you smile, you feel something amazing because there's been a connection made. And to me, that's the most beautiful thing that we're doing here. And as I say these words, it's funny for me to be the one saying this, only in that for a whole bunch of my early life, I was so shy. I was really afraid to connect with anybody. And then I sort of forced myself out of that. Maybe in my 20s, I started to put myself in situations where I had to get past it. And maybe even to the point where I got, the pendulum swing, you go from one end to the other. So maybe that's part of what's happening is this pendulum swing because I left my job, I don't know, a couple months ago now. And it's very different now. Um, I am looking for work, but it's a very interesting time for me. Mm, there's a bit of, shall I call it wobbliness? And I am getting signals. I follow the signals I get to do certain things at certain times. But you know how time can sometimes feel like, oh my gosh, it's taking forever. I've never been one to have patience, so it can be challenging when I have a lot of pressure, self-imposed or otherwise. You have to do this thing. You have to. So it's been an interesting time, and for me in particular, these re-interactions with Simeon's messages from a little while back are extraordinary. I'm telling you, they're exactly what's happening here now. And they're what is keeping me up on top of the wave. More than that, I experience flying with excitement as a whole new level of these messages come in to me that I know that are just for me. So in saying all this, I'm not going to be revealing any fantastic details about something just yet. I think it's just going to unfold. But there's just this feeling that I just can't get over. This feeling of strength in, as we all keep getting reminded of my own divinity. And as I experience even physical sensations of energy running through me, sometimes my hands just are so hot or they're tingling because there's so much energy, and I am at least have the wherewithal now to let it keep flowing, not stopping the flow, because at this moment in time, and always, but this moment in time, allowing the flow, encouraging the flow, going with the flow, it's more important than ever. It's this it's a trust in the divine and in just this bigger picture, which of course is that everything is okay. It's this wonderful orchestration of life that's happening. And of course, we're involved, we have free will, we're very much involved in it, but it's to allow this flow that's yours, that's each and every being's flow, to have fun with it, like you're riding on a down a water slide at an amusement park, or you're taking a carpet ride through the air across the land. It it's just this exhilarating experience of continually moving forward and just movement in general, just keeping everything moving. So I don't know if these words are crazy, they're not even understandable, but they're just the words that are coming out today. It's very different. I've had a very different uh, couple of weeks, and I'm just excited, and I'm sharing this so that if even one person catches a little glimpse of their own divinity and this beautiful flow that is their life, I will be over the moon. And I don't normally do this, but I strongly encourage anyone that may watch this broadcast, if you're here today, this Simeon rebroadcast will be happening tomorrow. For anyone looking in the future, just rewatch and you'll know what day tomorrow is from this point. So that's my sharing for today. As always, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here. And as nature has always been one of my biggest loves here on planet Earth, I just see everyone enjoying a beautiful walk through the trees, through a park, a climb in the mountain, wherever you may be taken. Because when you're in those places with the trees and the wonder, it's very easy to connect in that way that's huge and quiet and relaxing, and where you know that there are no problems. So on that note, I just want to send and wish each and every one, from now and through eternity, the most perfect life with perfect health and an extraordinarily magic future. Thank you for joining me. I am Genya.